This supply-side global experience documentary was underwritten by Rochem International, which has been serving the industry for 20 years, bridging the East to the West, and showcases several of its Chinese manufacturing partners. SupplySide is the leading destination for the exploration, discovery, innovation, and market strategy that fuels the healthier marketplace. This is SupplySide's global experience.
In an increasingly global marketplace, supply chains are more interconnected than ever before. Suppliers and buyers have to take extra care to monitor the quality of their ingredients, aiming to deliver the highest quality products to consumers. Ingredient safety has taken center stage with the implementation of the Food Safety Modernization Act in the United States, forcing manufacturers to more closely monitor the quality of their ingredient suppliers. Import alerts and recalls can be seen on a regular basis in the U.S. as lab testing unveils adulterated or subpar ingredients. And despite the globalization of the supply chain, there are still concerns about the quality of anything not made in the USA. What isn't being discussed is the increasing investment that companies around the globe are making in infrastructure, quality control, regulatory compliance, technology, and more. These companies are driving product development and raising the quality bar.
Hi, I'm John Benninger with my colleague Heather Granado. We're here standing on top of the Great Wall of China to take you on our next journey for a SupplySide Global Experience. In this edition of the SupplySide Global Experience, we've traveled to China to learn firsthand about the investments being made by some of the most advanced companies in the world and how these investments are driving product innovation. For more than 5,000 years, China has been a leader in agriculture and trade. The Silk Road, connecting China to the Mediterranean, opened before the 1st century AD. The Great Wall served to not only protect against invaders, but to regulate trade and impose duties. By the end of the Qing dynasty in the 18th century, China ruled more than 1/3 of the global population and was the largest economy in the world. However, it was still seen as isolated, with the historic Nixon-Mao meeting in 1972 kicking off a tremendous period of economic growth and development. Today, China is a dominant global force and is building bridges to countries worldwide. In fact, Matt Thiel, COO of Rochem International, noted the Chinese government has invested tremendously in terms of infrastructure to be able to move goods and services, and has done the same around production facilities.
In the last 15 to 20 years, there's been a tremendous amount of investment in chemical facilities in Asia, and also, as a part of that, in China specifically. So you can find facilities there that are better than what you would find generally in the U.S. or Europe.
At the World Economic Forum Summer Davos, held in Dalian, China in early September, WEF's founder, Klaus Schwab, noted China is positioned to move beyond simple production into promoting innovation to help drive transformation and growth in society. There are several examples of this commitment. Consider Foodtaste, founded in 1991 in Yucheng, China, with the goal of developing pure polyols healthier life. In the past 20 years, the company has expanded into 4 different facilities to its position now as the Chinese functional sugar city. Its planned expansion into the Foodtaste Biotechnology Industrial Park will significantly expand the company's reach. Wan Shengyun, chairman of Foodtaste, explained in the next 5 years the company will invest 1.5 billion yuan to scale its production, ultimately producing 600,000 metric tons of sugar alcohols annually. And his vision is not unusual, according to Matt.
If you look at what Foodtaste has done, it's an example of what we see going on many places in China. People investing significant amount of money, building new technologies, and increasing their capacities to take on and go head-to-head in the world marketplace with historical market leaders who are producing products in the U.S. And in Europe.
Shandong Kewan Pharmaceutical has seen exponential growth since its founding in 1992, with its industrial park covering 2 million square meters and revenue growth to 10 billion RMB in 2012. Pen Wan, Vice General Manager and Director of Export, noted specifically in the pharmaceutical area, the company has passed US FDA audits and is partnering with major global firms as it continues its strategy of acquisition and investment. This type of scale is also apparent at Tyray Pharmaceutical. Founded in 2000 and now a national key high-tech enterprise with more than 3,000 employees and assets of nearly 5 billion RMB. The largest producer of tylosin in the world and a leading supplier of other veterinary APIs, the company has recently invested in the vitamin B12 market. Beyond its production facilities, Tyray also has built its own power plant and water treatment facilities and built 3 sewage treatment stations to ensure compliance with environmental regulations. It holds ISO 14000 certification for environmental management, and further investment is planned, with Wang Yi, the CEO and president, noting the company plans to go public with the goal of investing another 4 billion RMB into building its veterinary production base.
Obviously, it's not just the buildings that make an operation, but the willingness to invest in developing new technology and production techniques, as well as identifying market opportunities in ingredient categories that offer intellectual property bandwidth. Consider, for more than 5,000 years, China has cultivated soy and was the source for soy spreading throughout the rest of the world. Today, Yuwang Bio is looking at how to optimize non-GMO soy into ingredients for a global market. We are out here about 45 kilometers out from the Yuwang headquarters. We're still in Yucheng and standing in the middle of 28 acres of IP soy. The company has invested and entered into long-term agreements, 30-year agreements in fact, with the farmers to help them investigate how soy actually is worth investing in economically compared to the traditional corn or wheat that they're growing. Some of these soy plants are being bred to investigate how to get higher yield, some for higher quality, whether maybe more isoflavone content. So as Yuwang has investigated how to be a leading provider of non-GM IP soy, they're really taking the time and the money to ensure that they can provide the market with the highest quality product.
Yuwang Group currently has 350,000 acres of non-GM soy plants, the largest in China, which will yield 70,000 metric tons of soy protein. All of its soy is non-GM and identity preserved, gaining IP certification in 2007, according to Mr. Lu Ziqiang, Chairman and CEO. The company starts by investigating the beans themselves, using traditional breeding methods to develop soy with higher levels of protein or greater yield. The company's R&D team has more than 60 people with a master's degree, with dedicated teams to different fields, including taste, solution, and application. Within the test kitchens, the teams work through products from noodles to tofu to yogurt to offer their customers products that are ready to meet consumer demand. The pilot lab also explores new processing technologies, looking at how soy isolate is affected by different drying techniques, for example. From their explorations, the company developed and patented low-temperature meal and processing technologies, which it uses in its 4 soy production facilities, 2 for white flake and 2 for protein isolate. In fact, the company's president, Madame Fan, said Yuwang holds 9 national invention patents and has developed 3 state-level new products in the soy area. Soy is not the only key crop to be leveraged in innovative ways. China is the 2nd largest producer of corn in the world and the 2nd largest consumer. However, in an innovative move, what was once considered waste is now the cornerstone of a new production system. So I'm standing here in front of basically a giant mountain of corn cobs. And the same thing that after you or I get done eating a nice piece of corn on the cob, we throw them away. Most of us do anyway, it's just waste. And so you'd say, well, why did we have these mountain corn cobs here? They're just throwing them away. In fact, they're not. What they've managed to do is figure out how to take these corn cobs and produce literally hundreds of valuable ingredients that are found in foods and medicines and products all over the world. Things like xylitol and lots of other sugar alcohols. It's incredible the amount of research that Food Taste has put in to discover what can be done with what most of us just consider garbage and we throw away.
Food Taste first processes the corn cobs to yield xylose. Through an extensive production process, Food Taste takes the xylose through ion exchange, filtration, evaporation, crystallization, and several separation steps to yield pure xylitol. At the same time, the company is looking to refine its process to determine whether there are ways to make even the waste products into something useful, and has contracted Intertek to conduct a life cycle assessment on its operations. This priority comes from the very top of the organization. Sun Lu, president of the R&D and QC Center, explained Food Taste focuses on recyclable xylitol production based on waste recovery and utilization of its membrane technology to achieve purification and scientific management. Further, he said, the company's IP around biological fermentation technology helps ensure product quality, as Food Taste has more than 100 authorized patent items. Li Yubin, president of the Food Taste Sales Center, added the company intends to increase its investment in the functional polyalcohol industry, extending beyond xylitol and maltitol into newer products with enhanced functional characteristics. Food Taste's ingredients are already used in a range of products, from biscuits and beverages to personal care products, and even oral wipes with xylitol to fight cavities.
Other companies are focusing on optimizing production technologies to improve commercial yield and cost control. Tilray Pharmaceuticals recently extended its expertise in fermentation technology into production of vitamin B12. In fact, its KingVit operation uses a proprietary two-step method instead of the traditional three-step fermentation method, taking the starter base from a 2-liter beaker to a 120-ton production tank in less than 2 weeks. The production and lab facilities have also been built to farmer requirements and passed China and Ningxia drug GMPs, following the company's standards for its API operation. On the API side of the complex, Tilray is investing not only in production, but in R&D, learning more about its existing ingredients, as well as how to commercialize new molecules and to optimize the processing techniques. We're in the production room for the fermentation process here at Tilray, and what we have, this is the control center right in front of us, where every step is monitored during the entire time. And it's actually a lot of time for the 3-step process. The first step takes about 40 hours, the second step takes about 35 hours, and the final fermentation step takes more than 200 hours. And all during that process, control has to be maintained to make sure that the finished product is of the proper quality. Throughout these production processes, quality control is paramount. Clean room protocols are in place, and the production flow is mapped to minimize long transit times. Several companies have installed expensive equipment to conduct magnetic separation as well as metal detection in their clean room packaging environments to ensure there are no impurities or metal fragments in the final products. That's only the final step, however, in their process. As we go through this process, there are 3 critical control points. The first one deals with sterilization in the microbiology. The second one deals with the particle size to make sure that's right. And then the third one is metal detection to ensure that there are no metals in the product.
This continues into the testing labs. Fang Chunli, head of Food Taste's QC Center, explained the company utilizes membrane technology, chromatographic separation, and other diversified technology to ensure the purity and stability of its products. Food Taste is also a national-level R&D center and tests not only its own products and polyols from other suppliers, but has a dedicated lab for national-level inspection of raw agricultural goods and finished consumer products. This inspection is critical, as situations such as the melamine contamination several years ago continue to challenge Chinese companies exporting protein products to the United States. Yuang has a laboratory testing area dedicated to testing for melamine, which is just one part of its quality control measures. Those quality efforts, along with work with Rochem on regulatory compliance, have paid off, as Rochem's owner, Robin Frisch, explained Yuang was the first company to receive an exemption to FDA's detention of Chinese protein ingredients after the melamine situation.
They were the first company that waived the sampling at the pier, because that could have caused a lot of delays and missing the deadline for delivering to our customers. But through the whole system that, especially with the Yuan's strict quality control, and this has been waived.
Ensuring compliance with global regulatory requirements is one ongoing challenge for suppliers, many of whom have turned to companies like Rochem to assist them. Rochem has a team in Qingdao that works proactively, auditing suppliers on a 6 or 12-month cycle and assisting with FDA and customer audits. In fact, Wai Dongming, Regulatory and Technical Director, noted Rochem will send its team to the facilities to assist in preparation for audits and ensure the whole team understands the quality requirements. In fact, the team works seamlessly with its U.S. headquarters. As Robin was born in China and maintains close ties, she brings a cultural understanding and determination to build bridges to quality suppliers. She also encourages her team and her customers to visit China as Executive Vice President Charles Dodds recalls.
I remember taking a fairly substantial German pharmaceutical company on a trip about 3 years ago, and they were just shocked at, as you say, the level of sophistication, the technology used. Actually, just the infrastructure within China, which now you've seen it, is fantastic. You know, so from getting from A to B, and the ease of doing business in certain ways is at a level that I think many people who've never been would never believe.
Indeed, the idea of getting on the ground to visit suppliers and build personal connections that yield long-term business collaboration is critical.
This time here this last week has been eye-opening, educational, and absolutely incredible, and I think really timely in light of where the global supply chain is going and where the world is going economically. I mean, it just so happens that during the week that we were here is the same week as the World Economic Forum in Dalian, when the world was gathered to talk about the economy, with China really at the focus. And I think one of the more interesting things that I saw come out of that is China's emphasis on moving to its next stage in its economic development, where much of its first stage, of course, was built on a lot of manufacturing, and still is. But they really talked and emphasized that the second stage in China's economic growth is going to be based on science, innovation, R&D, intellectual property, with an eye towards sustainability. Something that a lot of people might not think about when they think about business in China.
I really think we saw that illustrated. These companies that we had a chance to tour their facilities, these are companies that have been in business less than 20 years.
Yeah.
They started out with the desire to really invest and make us, take it down a particular path.
Yeah.
So what they're looking at is, what can we really own? So they're going to invest in intellectual property. They're going to invest in the types of ingredients. So they're looking for, what is my market niche? I mean, we talk in the United States about go big or go home.
Yeah.
And these companies are going big in their specific categories that they want to invest in and really own and be the go-to supplier.
Yeah, you look at the investments that they're making in their facilities, in their science, in their people, a big commitment and a long-term plan. We saw companies that talked about where they're going to be in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, and beyond that, and the steps they're taking today to ensure that they get there.
Right.
Really eye-opening for me as I think about the role that China plays in the global supply chain now and in the future. And I think it's something that everyone needs to pay more attention to. And hopefully everyone can get a chance to do what we did and get over here and spend some time firsthand to not only see it and walk through the facilities and get a firsthand view of them, but to meet the people behind it, the people running the companies and the people working at the companies, and get a real sense for who they are and their commitment to the future. It was really impressive for me.
Well, I think you talk about it from the perspective that they're really helping build a bridge. So from the Western world to the Eastern world, as you're sitting down and getting to know your supply chain partners.
The global marketplace has a lot to offer. Meeting with your suppliers firsthand affords you the insight you need to make sound business decisions. SupplySide's global experience will continue to take you behind the scenes to set the stage for your own journey of discovery.
This supply-side global experience documentary was underwritten by RoChem International.
We're going to need a bigger boat.